Hello and welcome to Portraits Getting Started. This is a beginner video for learning about portraits. Portraits have been around in the art world for a long time. They're kind of like the original selfie, and they're a picture of a person. Now, last week we were learning that a portrait is different from a landscape because landscapes are wide and portraits are tall, as well as being a picture of a person. And then last week we actually made a landscape, a picture of the land. But this week, we're going to be making our own style of portraits. We're going to be using pencil and paper and a few basic shapes and lines. The pictures don't have to look like anyone real that you know. They can just be from your imagination. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about some of the shapes and lines we'll be using. Faces can be almost any kind of shape, but the ones we're going to stick to are oval, a strawberry shape, a square, and a rectangle shape. But like I said, they can be almost any shape. We're also going to be using this kind of line. It's like a curvy line that looks sort of like the letter C. And it can be elongated, or it can be a regular letter C like this. And we're going to be using that kind of line a lot of times when we're working on the face today. So let's get started. First, you'll need your worksheet, a pencil, an eraser, and maybe a marker. And as always, a good artist remembers to sign their name on their work. So we'll write our name first. And then we'll look in our first square. We have an oval-shaped face here. I'm always going to start by putting a very light pencil line down the middle of the face, vertically, and across the middle of the face, horizontally. We're going to erase those lines later, but they're going to help us get our facial features in the right spots. So go ahead and do that. And then we'll start with the nose, about halfway down the middle of the face. There we go. I'm going to make an L-shaped nose, so like the letter L here. It's going to come down and across. This is one type of nose. Now, normally people's noses don't look like this unless they're looking a little bit to the side. But just to get started, that's an easy one to start with. Now I'm going to use that curvy line to make the tops of the eyes. There we go. And inside that, I'm going to make a dot in just a second here. Make a dot right here. In fact, I'm going to make a half a dot. Because normally, when a person is looking at you, you don't see the whole dot of their eye, or the iris of their eye. Then, about halfway between the nose and the chin, I'm going to make a line for the mouth, and I'll make the top lip by putting a little V in the middle, and then connecting that to the middle line of the mouth. There we go. So now we have the upper lip, which is normally a little darker than the bottom, and I use that curvy line again to make the bottom lip. Next, I'm going to add some eyebrows. Eyebrows really change the expression that is on someone's face, so it's very important that we don't forget those. And now I'm going to add the ears. The ears start at about the same level as the eye, and they go down to where the nose ends. So start at the eye, and then stop it at the bottom of the nose. There we go. Now I'm going to go about halfway up the top half of my face and create the hairline. Now the hair could be shaggy and hang down from there, or it could go up from there. So I'm just gonna fill in some hair here. This is a basic haircut, nothing too fancy for our first one. But you can decide on any kind of hair that you know how to draw, or if you want to get creative, you can do that too. Try something you haven't tried before. And last, I'm going to add some details around his neck and arms to give him a t-shirt. You can even draw something on the shirt. Just draw a smiley face here. There we go. Now let's go back and erase those guidelines that we put in at the beginning. We don't need those anymore because we're done with the face. There we go. Alright, that's portrait number 1. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so I'm going to start again with that vertical line down the center of the face and a horizontal line across the middle of the face. I'm going to come down to the bottom half of my face and put in the nose, about halfway down. I'm going to use that curvy line. That's going to be the bottom of the nose. I'm going to add some eyes, just like I did. I'm leaving space in between the eyes and on the sides. There's my dot, and it looks a little too much like the person is surprised. So I'm going to make the top of the eyes, the eyelids, a little thicker. There we go. Add some eyebrows. And now the mouth. About halfway in between the nose and the chin. I'll give this person a little smile. And I think this is going to be a girl. So I'm going to give her lips a little more detail. It'll be a little bit bigger than the boy's lips. It's that way sometimes, but not every time. Now I'm going to add the ears. Remember the ears, they're at the bottom. They line up with the nose, and at the top they line up with the eyes. So there we go, got my ears. And next is the hairline. So she's going to have swoopy hair that is swept in front of her face. There we go. And straight lines, or kind of curvy lines for her long hair. There we go. Last, I'll add some details for her clothes. Maybe some eyelashes. Other details. And I'll put a little name badge on her. Maybe she is wearing her 1 card. Alright, now I'll go in and erase my guidelines from the beginning. There we go. Alright, that's portrait number 2. Let's look at number 3. This person has more of a squarish face, but I'm still going to follow those same beginning steps. Put in my eyes. And this person's going to be looking over to the side a little bit. I'm going to give them a smirk for their mouth. Darker upper lip. Some ears. And the hairline. Now, I think I'm going to go a little bit more adventurous with this hair. I'm going to make this some big natural hair. This guy's going to be a basketball player. I don't know why, I just felt like it. So I'm using curly lines or loop-de-loop lines to create that kind of coiled looking hair that looks so cool. Don't forget the eyebrows. There we go. And now I'm going to erase my guidelines on the face. Don't need those anymore. You might have to redraw something every now and then when you erase, but that's okay. Just gives you another chance to make it better. So now I'm going to give this guy his basketball jersey. What team does he play for? I don't know. I could decide that later. I'm just going to put a basketball on his shirt. There we go. Looks like he's ready to play in the game. All right. Now let's look at our last one. We're going to start the same way, but this one I want you to get creative and add your own details. So as you get started, start to make some choices of your own. How do you want this person to look? Is it going to be a boy or a girl? Or something in between? It's up to you. Hope you had fun. Bye for now.